Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the day here in the US. We got a new administration, a more crypto-friendly administration. How come we're not mooning yet? I expected the price of Bitcoin to be way north of 110, and that hasn't happened yet. Is that cause for concern? Should we be worried? Especially today, there was an address and there was no mention of Bitcoin, crypto, or any of that. Have we been duped? I don't think so. If you look between the lines, you'll see that there's more coming. And obviously, first day, there's other things that take precedent. But I think there's bigger things happening and bigger things coming for crypto. We're in the peak bull right now, and things are going to go crazy. So let's go over today's news and what I foresee happening in the future. So let's get into it. Today's big day for crypto. Historically, it's going to be one for the record books. So let's see. Let's see what happens. So let's take a look at today. So Bitcoin did hit an all-time high right before inauguration. It hit 109. This happened while I was sleeping. It was crazy. But we thought 109 and maybe 110, 111, but things didn't go that way. It went actually south. At the time of the video, I think they're currently at 103 Bitcoin price, but it's all good. Again, everything can happen all at once. This past weekend was very eventful with memes, and we'll get into that. The DJT did launch, or people affiliated with him did launch a meme coin under his account, and that was followed by his wife. And then later on, I saw that Baron had one. So it's crazy. I don't know about the Baron one because I didn't see that on DJT's Twitter page, but I digress. But we did hit 109 real quick. Also, during his speech, like I discussed in the beginning, there was nothing mentioned about BTC, nothing about strategic reserve, none of that. And that's kind of a letdown for the crypto community because we thought for sure we would hear something. At least we didn't want a full thing, a segment, just at least, 2 sentences or something. Something along the likes of, we'll make America the #1 Bitcoin mining region or something like that. We'll be the first to have it as a strategic reserve. Didn't get it. But that's okay. More important things going on in the country than that. I know you and I must think that crypto is #1 priority, but there are other things that are more important for sure. So I get it. Also, there are up to 8 states in the US that are looking to add Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. We already know Senator Loomis is proposing something to Congress to make that on a global or national scale rather. But then we have 8 individual states. And the ones that we know of so far are Texas, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Wyoming, Massachusetts, and Oklahoma. And I thought Florida was also there. I heard rumblings of that as well. So we can add Florida in there and that'll make it 9. So that is positive, and that's not going anywhere. So if we look at crypto, look at the sentiment right now, fear and greed, we're at extreme greed. So right around now, typically when I have stuff, I like to unload a little bit just because how hot the market is right now. Although the market says extreme greed, if you look at the charts, they don't support extreme greed, right? Bitcoin's at 102. ETH started coming up, but it's back down now to 3,200. XRP's at 313. So the prices of the alts were much higher than this. So I'm surprised to see we're in extreme greed, but people are very excited about the new administration. Some people that left, people that are replacing them, they just see a bright and very positive and profitable future for crypto. So that's why people feel extremely good right now. Prices don't reflect it in a lot of these famous ones that we like, but we'll get to that later. But price of Bitcoin right now, 103, ticked up while I made this video. Solana was up at 290 just 48 hours ago. Now it's at 246. XRP is at 314. Doge, Elon made a mention about Doge to the moon during his segment today, so that's positive for them. 35 cents. ADA is ticking down a little bit at 102. Chainlink, 25 bucks. Avalanche, 36. Sui, $4.46. Hedera, 34 cents. Toncoin, Litecoin, 119. I can go on forever, but again, if you look at these prices, I still think things aren't really topped off yet. So there's still some good entry points if you like those. But all the news and the rage before today was the meme coins. Trump launched one, then his wife launched one. And just looking at Deck Screener right now, when preparing for this video, Melania was #1. And now you see that Trump has taken it number one again. And that's for a couple of reasons. He has some big major listings coming up. But if we look at the market cap right now, is at 7.8 billion. Melania's at 4 billion market cap. And just the age of this is Melania 1 day old, and Trump coin is only 2 days old. Then you have Elon, Zuckerberg, Musk, and copycats, right? But Trump coin is at $39 right now. It's going down. This thing was at almost, I want to say $70 at one point. Now it's down to $39. Is there a point where this thing goes down a little bit more that I would consider getting it? I think so. It has the name, it has the appeal, it has the backing. If it gets down to a certain amount, I'd say something below 20, I may be a buyer. Just to hold a little bit of bag and see what happens with it. I think this thing could take off, especially if we hit peak promo and you have the likes of Doge and other memes going crazy. Why not this one? Why not this one? This could probably be the king of all memes if you think about it. So we'll keep a look on that. Now, Robinhood is saying that they are going to list the Trump crypto. And again, that's another reason why I think if it gets under a certain amount, you probably want to get on board. This could be the one, the new Doge or the new Sheeb of this cycle. This Trump coin could be it. Now, ethically, how I feel about it, I don't know if I agree with it, but it seems like people not associated or not handling his personal affairs are dealing with it. He has a team that's dealing with this, I guess just using his name. So I'm not sure if a sitting president could really profit over something like this, but hey, who knows? But Robinhood is going to list it, so then you're going to get retail coming in. Then you have Coinbase. They're talking about adding it as well as part of their roadmap, so they're going to add it at some point. So when you see Bitcoin hitting new levels and then the alts start going to new levels and people start FOMOing in the memes, what meme do you think they're going to get into? Depending on your political preference, who knows? But I can see Trump doing very well. Also, more positive news, right? Our arch nemesis here in the crypto space, he's gone. Gone. Hopefully far away. We don't have to see him or hear from him ever again. Interested to see what happens with the Ripple appeal, if that tends to go away. Interested to see what happens with the pending cases right now that they had against crypto companies. But he is gone, so that's one major roadblock, especially for the alts, that is out of the way. So what's going to happen now that he's gone? Well, floating around, it looks like there is a acting SEC chair, and that's going to be Mr. Mark Uyeda. And apparently, he is a Bitcoin advocate. So that is good. Now, one thing to remember is that prior to Gensler taking this position, he was pro-Bitcoin as well and pro-crypto. And then somehow he got in that chair and things turned. But I would have to say that if we got the sitting president who's pro-Bitcoin, a lot of the cabinet members hold Bitcoin, that things may be a little different this time. Let's cross our fingers. But if that's good, if that happens, it's just add to the bullishness of everything that's going to happen this time. And it's only January, guys. Only January. Now, another thing. Yesterday when Melania launched, I kind of had inkling. I had probably within 8 minutes, I knew of it. I tried to get my hands on this thing so early by moving Sol around, and Coinbase jerked me. Let me just tell you that. It took something that should have taken seconds to get from one wallet to the next wallet, took almost 10 hours. And that's just for me moving a little bit of, Sol around to get some memes. Imagine people that have 6 figures trying to move this thing around and trying to move money around and got stuck. Then I'm like, do I put the blame on Solana? Is it Coinbase? Nobody knows, right? I was pissed off, let's just say. And I had a small amount compared to these big whales that are moving big amounts of money. So we'll see. This Coinbase and Sol thing is really interesting. It's not the first time I heard about delayed transactions with Sol and Coinbase. But this was posted on Solana Floor. Coinbase protocol specialist, this guy handled Andrew, on Solana native tokens deposit withdrawal delays on the exchange. He says Solana's high usage has pushed our infrastructure past its limits. Clarifies that it's not Solana's fault. Now I looked at this guy. He has about 3,000 followers. It looks like a verified account. I don't know what his position is with Coinbase, but that sounds about right to me, right? I mean, the memes are going crazy. The amount of volume that's going in at a short amount of time. And if you look at the DEX volume, just transactions totally just on a 7-day average, 24-day average, Solana has over 60% in total of crypto. That's a lot of volume moving through one protocol. And it hasn't had any issues. Before it had some issues with, stopping and halting and everything like that, but not really. The only delays that I'm hearing about are with Coinbase. So maybe this guy, what he's saying, puts some perspective on things that maybe it's just pushing the infrastructure to its limits, and maybe they should do something to remedy that because it's only going to get worse as more retail comes in and crypto gets hotter. It's only going to get worse. So if you have any SOL on Coinbase, you may consider maybe moving it. Not financial advice, but this was very, very painful last 24 hours for me. Now, meme coin craze. Now, Mark Cuban, famous for owner of the Dallas Mavericks, or he was the owner, and he was on Shark Tank. Very famous, rich investor. He's thinking about launching one too, right? So, hint, hint, this may be one you want to maybe pay attention to, especially notify yourself if he comes out with a new meme or something like that, or new tweet announcing that he's coming out with a meme, and you can probably get on it earlier. And chances are he's going to launch it on Solana. But he goes on to say that he's going to do the same thing, but if he did, it would be with a twist. Same thing as Trump as far as 20% float. Same release schedule. Big difference is all the revenue from the sale of the coins would go to the US Treasury. The wallet address will be published so everyone can track it. If you want to gamble, gamble, but at least use it to make a dent in the US debt. That makes a whole lot of sense, right? If you're already wealthy, right, and you know that we have an issue with the fiat and our debt is like in the trillions, 34, 35, 36 trillion, why not do something to put a dent in it? This right here, I'll be all about it, especially if this is what is, if he's saying he'll publish the address and you can see it. If this is what he's going to do, I'll be all about this meme right here. So again, not financial advice. I'd probably be notified about him if he has any activity. If he launches anything, probably a good meme to get in and out of. So pay attention. Mark Cuban, good job. Next, we have World Liberty Financial. Now, a lot of people on Twitter especially seem to say that this is Trump's company or Trump's kids' companies. That is not the case. If you do your research and see the background of that, I think they may be affiliated with that family and probably give a kickback to them, but I don't think they control the operations ins and outs of this company at all. And if you look at the owners of this company, some of the partners, they've been involved in some questionable activities in the past, and most of their ventures did not go over well. So because of that, I'm staying away from this project. But today they did say, because he is the 47th president, they purchased $47 million worth of ETH, $47 million worth of wrapped Bitcoin, Aave, Link, Tron, and ENA. I don't know what that is, but they are purchasing, you notice 47 for 47, a good amount. And ETH seems to be the number. ETH is very popular with them. And actually, if you look at Trump's wallet, he also owns some ETH as well. So that's interesting. Now, looking at Trump's wallet, you see that he holds 495,000 worth of ETH. That's a lot. He owns wrapped ETH. Obviously, he owns some Trump. He owns USA Coin, USDC, Tua. This has to be a joke, or maybe it was gifted to him. But what we want to focus on, he does own ETH, and he does own, that's probably the only one that I'm concerned about, is just ETH. So ETH, people saying that ETH may die, I don't think so. Just because he owns it, people and wallets affiliated with him own it, ETH probably has some room to go. Next, let's take a look at this World Liberty Financial. If you go on their website, now you know me, and I've told you before that if I go on the website and the first thing I see is you asking for my money to buy your token, I'm not doing it. But if you look at the, what they have here is about a nickel, it looks like, just for one coin, and they're almost sold out. They're almost sold out. Look at all these tokens sold. 21.8 billion tokens already sold. So right now they have about 3.1 billion tokens remaining. So if you want to get your hands on some, this is how you do it. Go on the website and connect your wallet if you feel it's safe, and good luck. But for me, it's a no. However, Andrew Tate, for him, it's a yes. He posted something that after 45 seconds of research, he invested $100,000 into World Liberty Financial. He must be an extremely intellectual person to do research in 45 seconds, because I'd be so rich if I was able to do that. Maybe that's how he made his money. But he's an investor. So again, people are liking it. Not for me, though. Now, we look at week ending last week, just taking a look at CoinShares, Smart Money, Venture Capitalists, what they invested in. We see that week ending January 17th, that 1.9 billion into Bitcoin, 246 million into ETH, Solana only 2.5 million, XRP 30 million, Litecoin 500,000, ADA 500,000, Chainlink 2.8 million. So institutions are still buying, and right now, like I said, ETH is pretty weak against Bitcoin and Solana, but the money's behind it, and you see all the famous and powerful people that own this thing. So ETH is not over yet, not over yet at all. Now let's take a look at DeFi to see where the money is as far as total value locked. We see that ETH is still the big daddy, 66 billion. Solana 11.3 billion. They're number 2 now. They surpassed Tron. That's crazy. Crazy, guys. Looking at another L1, we see that going down the list, Sui has 1.8 billion. Hyperliquid, Leverage Play 1.6 billion. Avalanche 1.3 billion. Aptos 1 billion. And then ADA's the next one. ADA's coming up. ADA's DeFi has grown a lot. ADA's DeFi is up, where total value locks is up to 517 million. That is impressive. ADA, go ADA. That's nice. That is nice. Then going down, we see Near has about 241 million. All right. So now let's take a look at where we're at right now in the market. If we look at, we're in January right now, and typically alts don't start shining until the end of the cycle, which could be anywhere third, fourth quarter of this year. Now, Bitcoin has to reach a top first. That's already happened. But with everything I think is happening, I think Bitcoin has more tops to come. But according to Crypto Rover, if he looks at his chart, and this is charts leading back to last bull cycle, and this is just looking at the pre-rally versus the rally after the halving, you see that we tend to go up tremendously after the halving. So this was 2020's third halving, and then you see we had that dip, and we'd had some dips, right? And then right here, right in this green bar, 378 days, within 378 days of the halving, this is what we get. Straight up. Straight up. And then you see we never reach that height again. If history repeats and we repeat the same pattern from last cycle. So we have this amount of time here to make our gains, get in and get out. So if we look at where we're at right now, if we do the same amount of time, 378 days after, we are entering this green bar area. Green bar area right here. So this is the time where we got to be smart, make smart entries and smart exits. Now, this is going to be a good time, guys. But we got to be smart about it. We really got to be smart. Can't be greedy. I've heard too many stories of people waiting. Oh, I'm going to wait till my certain coin gets a certain amount. Once it hits that number, then I sell. And it's always about a nickel, 10 cents short of that number, goes down and never reaches that number again. So you got to have some numbers in your head and maybe just take a little bit off the top, let it ride, take a little bit off the top. That's my plan, not financial advice. But I think things are going to go crazy, guys. And right now, everything's set up nicely for us. So let's just wait and see what happens. Coin market cap's looking pretty good. Again, Bitcoin, let's take a look at the price before I leave here. 102. Solana's at 243. Doge. It's a lot of good projects here that still haven't reached their all-time highs from last cycle. So, let's get in, guys. This is the time right now. We can't mess this up. We cannot F this up. This will change our lives forever if we make the right moves. So, guys, thank you for spending your time with me. Today was a historical day here in the U.S. So thank you and good night. Talk to you later.